So this is the text between Mr. Eric Madsen and myself. Apparently, Mr. Madsen purchased a case from us off an auction. So he starts out his private PM to me with, "Hello. Hello, John. Is there any way I can swap my 3.6 for a 3.4? I said, "Of course. Is that easy to do?" I said, "It takes you about 2 minutes if you're slow." Now at this point, I'm thinking he just wants to change his interior out like some people do. Some people want more space or, for whatever reason. So I think we're just talking about him purchasing a new interior. At this point, there is no indication that he wants to make a claim that the Q case has done something to his Q. Okay, so I say, if your case has a removable interior. He says, "So how do I get one? I have a brown leather case with a brown insert." So I say, "Well, when did you buy it? Show me, because I have to see the case so I can make sure that we create the right insert for it." The leather case inserts are slightly different than the ones we make for the ruggeds, for example. So in this situation, I'm probably going to have to build an interior. It's very unlikely that I have an interior in inventory that will work for what he wants. So once again, at this point, there's no indication that this is all predicated on some claim that the Q case is somehow hurting his Q. So then he says, I said, "Show me the case," which is what I would normally ask. He says, "About 3 months ago, one of your auctions." Okay, that doesn't help me, so we do 1 or 2 auctions a month, and we sell about 30 cases or so each time. So I mean, you're talking what, 60, 120, 180 cases or so, so and of course he said he has a leather one, so that would narrow it down. But even so, it would be easier for him to just send me the pictures. "Okay, I'm on the road for work right now, but I'll be home tomorrow. I'll send you a picture." And then I say, "Okay, not a problem." Now's where we start to have a problem. As soon as I say not a problem. I said, "It costs $40. You can order it on the website." I'm not sure what this is here. JB Cases. Oh, I guess that's his, okay, so I guess that's his PayPal snapshot. Okay, I see it. So I said, okay. So then he says, "Forget it. I will just try to sell the case and buy something else." So now the conversation changes, and I said, "Oh, you want it for free?" And he says, "I want a case that won't mark," I guess he means mark my Q or mar my Q. And I said, "You have one?" He goes, "No, I don't. I have a case that has a faulty design and jams too much into one space." So at this point, now I know I'm dealing with someone who's making a claim, has never mentioned this to me before this point. So then I give him the same standard answer that I give everyone else. If you send me the case, I can duplicate any damage you claim, and then I will I can duplicate any damage you claim, then I will change the interior for free. So that's what I say to everyone. I mean, if a person sends me a case, I'll take my cues, I'll make a video, and I will attempt to duplicate whatever damage that they show me and claim that was caused by using our case. That's all I can do. So anyway, he says, "I will be sure to share my experience with others." Okay, what experience? I answer him, I say, "I didn't see that you had claimed that damage has happened. Did I miss it? Why didn't you say something when you got it? Or why didn't you say something when you noticed the damage? This is the first time I'm hearing about it. I don't want unhappy customers," I say, "but I can't fix something when I'm not made aware of the problem." So then he goes on to say, "There will be if I keep using your case. I know how you would rather argue with your customers than make it right. That's simply not true. So I will just move on and chalk it up to a bad experience. Hopefully I can get my money back from someone. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here with this paragraph. First of all, was there a problem or will there be a problem? This is what the guy says. So I'm not sure what he's saying. Is he saying that he just feels like that there's not enough space in the case and he wants more padding between his cues? Or he's actually had a problem? Because at this point I'm thinking, when I read this paragraph, I'm thinking he hasn't even yet had a problem. So maybe he just doesn't know how to load the case. I don't know at this point. But then he says, hopefully I can get my money back from someone. So now this leads me to my second point here, which is I don't understand when you're being offered a solution. And by the way, depending on the condition of the case, I probably would have just offered him his money back, because I can put a new interior in it and sell it at auction, and I might lose a little bit of money, but then another person's going to get a great case. So it's not a big deal for me. But this kind of disturbs me when he says this. Hopefully I can get my money back from someone. So he's thinking that the case that he has is defective, or he thinks that it's going to be harmful to his queue. But yet, instead of taking the solution that I offer, which is, absolutely to honor the warranty that I have, and repair or replace his case, instead of taking up that solution and making sure that he gets a case that for sure is working, or even possibly his money back from me, he's saying here that he would rather sell a case that he thinks is defective to someone else, to pass it off or pawn it off on them. And then he says, you are well aware of the problem, but denial is a better path. I don't even know what he means by that. Well aware of what problem? I don't even know what he means, because we sell thousands of cases a year. We sell hundreds of 3x6 cases. We sell dozens of leather cases. And there's not an epidemic of cases harming cues. It's just simply non-existent. So, we definitely, a few times a year, we get people claiming things, and I tell them the same thing. If I can duplicate the problem using my cues, then I will accept that the case is damaging the cue, and then at that point, I will take the case apart and try to figure out what it is. But the first thing that I have to do is I have to get the case, and I have to try to use it in the manner that the customers are using it, and try to duplicate whatever damage that they claim is being done. So then he says, just keep making videos that make you feel better. Okay, I don't know what he means about that. I make videos to be informative to my customers. I make videos to be transparent about our methods. And if a customer makes a claim and he wants to take it public, then I make a public video about the claim, and I show everyone how I test something, and I show them how I try to duplicate the problem. Okay, so anyway, I say you're absolutely wrong. I like to have happy customers, and anything claimed as a problem is something that I want to investigate and fix if found to be a problem. So this is absolutely true. If there's anything that happens to a customer's cues, I absolutely want to know about it first. Because if it's something systemic in the way we build cases, then I absolutely want to make sure that that's fixed immediately. That the way that we build the case is changed so that every case going forward from that point won't have that problem. And that's been my philosophy the whole time, and that's one of the reasons why we can give a lifetime warranty, because as we find any kinds of problems, whether it's in the design that I did, that I felt like, even though this is pretty good, we can still do better, and we change it. Or in designs that I didn't do a great job on it. And once I figured out that it wasn't working the way I thought, then we make a change. And every case from that point on is better. So I know that whatever problems we've experienced in the past are unlikely to come back on future cases. All right, anyway, so I said, send me the case back and what you feel is fair for using it for 5 months. So I guess he had it for 5 months and not 3 months. And I will refund you the difference. So at this point, now that he's gone about it the way he's gone about it, I didn't offer him a full refund, but I said, you know what, you more or less you rented the case from me now for 5 months, so basically I'm offering to buy it from him at a discount, at some price lower than what he said. So then I said, my wife says I'm really stupid to give you money back instead of a $40 interior. I am, but you're being very rude, so it bugs me. Okay, so here I get a little snarky about it, but still, I've put an offer on the table to buy this case back from the guy. And also, obviously I could have just given him the interior. But the way he went about it was completely in the wrong. You gotta lead with the problem. You gotta say, hey dude, I'm having a problem with this case. And of course, now as I'm reading through this again, I feel like that his problem is just a matter of perception rather than any actual problem. So what he was actually saying is, I don't feel secure about this case and I would like more padding, and would you mind switching out the interior? Had he led with that, I probably would have said, sure, bud, no problem. I would have said, okay, the case probably won't hurt your queue, based on my experience, but if it makes you feel better and you're happy with a 2x4 inside of a 3x6 tube, very happy to do it for you. I know I would have said it like that, and I would have switched it out. And the only thing I would have asked him to do is pay for the shipping for the interior that he has back to me, and then I would pay for the shipping of the interior to him. I think that's fair. So then he says, I would rather take my chances selling it than deal with you anymore. Now you guys can read through this and you can see that I haven't been, other than that last little quip, I wasn't snarky to the guy at all. This is ridiculous, okay? He goes, I would have been happy converting it to a 3-4 to resolve the issue. Has been a while because of COVID thing, very little chance to play. I did not notice it until I purchased another cue and then loaded it up with 2 playing cues and a break cue. You are not a reasonable person and I prefer not to deal with you any longer. Then you come back, God, I hate that. Then you come back with an offer and offend me more by calling me rude. I'm sorry, you were rude, and your communication skills really suck, Eric. I'm sorry. So I respond, anyway, you paid $640. No, what? I'm so sorry about this. I said, let me know what's fair, or you can sell it and explain to prospective buyers that you are selling them a case that you feel will damage their cues, despite not having done so in the first 5 months of usage. So here I'm now clued in to the fact that there's been no actual damage to any of his cues, and he just doesn't feel comfortable. So instead of talking to me about it, where we could figure this out and make him comfortable, a lot of times it's just usage, the way that the customer's using the case. I've had people that have put the butts in the shaft slots and then complained about it being too tight. But anyway, I said, I'm very reasonable. I just don't like being treated the way you're treating. I was warned about you and now I understand. Warned about what, dude? The way you started out on here was ridiculous. You were asking for an interior without identifying any sort of concern or problem. In my mind, you just want to buy a different interior. Anyway, I said, well, your choice. If you can't sell it for what you think you can get from me, the offer stands. Tell the new owners that I will be happy to inspect the case in the same way that I offered it to you. Now, keep in mind, at this point, the case itself is not defective. The case has done no harm to his cues, and he just simply is uncomfortable with it. So if he sells the case to someone, then they're going to get the case exactly as we built it and probably have no problem. And I very much doubt that he's going to go to them and say, oh, I'm super concerned about this harming my cues, and John said this, or he offered to do this. I don't think that he's going to do that. I think he's just going to try to sell it and move on from it. But he's now leaving with a bad taste in his mouth. But it's unfair to me because he didn't actually have a problem, and he didn't start out telling me that he had any concern. Then he says, please don't message me anymore. And I said, okay, if you change your mind, the offer stands. So that's the end of the conversation. But as you guys can see here from this conversation, I don't feel that I was rude in any way to the guy. I felt like I handled this professionally. I handled it in the same consistent manner that I always handle any types of claims or concerns. And even to this day, the offer still stands. So I don't know if he's got the case. I don't know who's purchased the case from him. If any of you guys want to speak up and you happen to have the case, feel free to chime in and tell us what your experience is with it. I'm going to say that most likely your experience has been positive, but if it hasn't been positive, then obviously my offer to make it right for you holds just as it held for the previous owner, because the warranty on JB cases is on the case, not on the owner. So if you're holding a JB case, it has a lifetime warranty. And the only exceptions to that are cases that have already been taken in under warranty and resold as like storage cases for very little money and marked as a warranty return. Okay, so obviously we're not going to get double dipped on those cases, but all other JB cases, even if it's been sold and resold 10 times, the case itself has the warranty on it. So I treated this gentleman exactly as I would treat anybody else in the same situation, despite him starting out incorrectly and immediately going to a space where he felt offended and argued with when he hadn't even identified a problem, and when he at least to this point had not even had any cue damage. His cues were fine. So I don't know what else I could have done here, but I'll leave it up to you guys. And yeah, that's the end of it. Bye-bye.